And welcome back to another episode of TK Talks. What are we on, K? Episode 15?
I think 16, I think.
16? 15? Something like that. Anyway, what'd you think about that Cardinals game today?
Decent. Better than last week for sure.
For sure. I thought it was milestones better than last week in a lot of ways. I kind of was praying for the defense all, at least through the first half. But, yeah. No, in the second half, I guess. I mean, they scored more points on us in the second half.
So with all
Yeah,
preseason games in, well, who do you think's taking QB2?
It's a tough ride, you know. I mean, Clayton Tune was doing good in the beginning. He never really capitalized on a single touchdown, in the first half. Anyway, he was due to play the first half. Ritter was due to play the second half. He marched us down the field, could not capitalize at the end, which is a lot like what we saw last year, if I remember. There was a couple of drives that he got done last year in the preseason games, but when Ritter finally got out there, I felt like he did a better job of marching it down the field, at least to get us field goals and capitalize on what's going on. And the second he got his helmet taken off of him, Clayton Tune ended up back on the field, and he threw an interception on the first pass. So, yeah, I mean, that didn't look all that great on Tune. But overall, I would say Tune had a better performance over the last three. But in this last game, I think Ritter really showed some spunk. I think if we were just judging it by today's game, my choice would probably be Ritter. If we were going to choose by all three games, Tune was more consistent over the last three games. What do you think?
Yeah, I personally would give the job to Tune as well, considering he did throw that interception last minute. I would personally still keep Ritter though, because he did show some sort of promise in today.
Oh yeah, no, he's going to make a great third string. As long as there's room for a third string quarterback on the team. When it comes down, is it 52 or 53 now?
From what I was seeing on the post game show for the Cardinals, they have to narrow it down to 53-man roster by Tuesday by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, is what the banner said at the bottom of the TV screen.
That makes sense. So it used to be the battle for 52. I think it's strange that they went up to 53, but that could be a recent thing or it could be an old thing, and I just haven't kept up with the times. It's quite possible. But yeah, 53. I mean, 53 men. It all kind of comes down to, do we need three quarterbacks? Do we have anybody on our team that could fill that spot of that third string quarterback? Back in the day, it was Patrick Peterson. He could fill that third string quarterback position in a pinch. He was our wildcat go-to back in the day. I don't see anybody on the team right now that could fill a third string position for quarterback in case of an emergency. But it doesn't mean that they don't exist when push comes to shove.
Right.
I would love to see us keep Ritter. I think, he's young. I'm honestly, when it comes down to it, I think he's more physically capable and more talented than Clayton Tune. But his mentality, I don't think is quite there. So,
right.
I think that he can learn a lot from Tune. He can learn a lot from Kyler Murray. I think he could very well be a great quarterback in the future, as long as he's groomed into. I mean, you look at Tom Brady; he was drafted, 6th round or something like that. Bottom of the barrel, and he played as backup for a while until he got his big break. It is quite possible that we might have somebody special there, but it's his mentality that needs to change. He's physically capable of the job, but whether he's confident in doing the job is
Right. So did you hear about the wide receiver that got suspended for 5 games on the Cards?
I did not. No. What
Zay
happened?
Jones was suspended without pay for the first 5 games due to violating the NFL's personal contact policy or conduct policy.
Uh-uh.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
it came out a couple days ago. It came out along with the one injury we also have as well.
Yeah. Well, that's no good. What kind of conduct did he misconduct did he qualify for that suspension? Do you know?
I don't know. I haven't been able to find any more details on that.
Yeah, that's too bad. He was a big part of our season, so hopefully he can get back on the good streak soon, get back into the players. A few things that I took away from today. I felt like Weaver did a really good job at receiving. He's one of our new receivers on in the squad. He ran a few of them down the field. He was good with his hands. He catched very well. Over the last 3 games, defensive end Thomas had 3 sacks. He did pretty well in the last 3 games for one of the new guys. Hall had a good running game today. It seemed like every time we had a decent run, I was looking to the back of this jersey and it said Hall on it. Pretty happy with that. And I don't know if you saw this one, but Hoskins today, I think he's number 75. He's like the biggest guy on our defensive line today. That dude jumping up, getting in front of the ball, get big sack in the backfield. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Oh man, you should have rewinded it and watched it because it was good. It was a good big boy moment with him just stepping up to the plate. And I mean, he's a defensive end, but he's huge. I don't know if you remember Levi Brown back in the day and how big that dude was, but he was huge. 6 foot crazy and 400 pounds, just roaring at you, and he totally broke his the defensive line, got in the face of the quarterback, and put him straight down Chinatown. It was amazing. It was fun to watch. I really enjoyed today's game compared to the rest of the games. I felt like the third preseason game every year is one of my favorite games to watch because there's so much more heart in the players. It's like watching a college football game. Everybody's vying for a position. Everybody's trying out to be on that roster, to that battle for 53. They all want to be there and they're all playing their hearts out. And watching the individual players and what each individual player is doing, super awesome to be able to see that. Even though we haven't seen a single starter pretty much, the entirety of the preseason schedule.
We have actually.
I cannot wait to see our first team play. I know we've seen a few here and there, but McBride wasn't suited up.
Yeah.
Murray wasn't suited up today.
Connor wasn't.
Connor wasn't suited up today. It's just I can't wait to see all of our first team on the field, ready to go. And part of me thinks that's partially a psychological game for the Buffalo Bills, because the Bills are going to be watching the preseason tapes. They're going to be practicing against the Cardinals. The Cardinals offense from the preseason, basically.
Yep.
They don't know what kind of guys we have in our back pocket that we haven't put on the field. Yeah, we put a couple of them on the field here and there, but they've never seen all of them work cohesively together. So I honestly think that the Bills game is going to be a big surprise when it comes to the Buffalo Bills. I think they're going to come out, and I'm a Bills fan, wholeheartedly 100% a Bills fan and a Cardinals fan. Well, I'd say it's 50-50, but when push comes to shove, if the Cardinals can pull off, I think they're moving in for a surprise attack this year. I really do.
Well, that brings me to that point, sir. If you want to go ahead and get your picks in, you can do that. We all did it here already.
Well, when push comes to shove, well, I figured I've got 2 weeks almost to get those picks in, my friend. So I'm going to think about it. I'm going to pray on it. And then I'm going to watch a little bit more of that film and make sure that everybody's healthy before I put my picks in. I'll put every other pick in tonight right after this podcast. But the Bills and Cardinals, you're not going to get that until game day. Before the game, obviously.
I told my father-in-law that. He goes, "Wait a minute. Not during the game, right?" And I'm like, "No." He knows that I won't count it if it goes in during the game.
No, at the very least, even if I can't load it on my phone, I'll send you a text message with my pick. We've done that.
There's one starter that I am curious about, but he, unfortunately, due to an injury, he won't be able to play for a couple of weeks. Darius Robinson.
Yeah, who's that?
He suffered a calf injury during practice this last Thursday.
Oh no, that's no good.
And
he's due to miss multiple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a big draft, one of our big draft picks.
Mm-hmm. He's our number 56, our defensive tackle.
Yep.
One of our defensive tackles.
So I'm curious. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be playing in the next 2 weeks against the Bills or the team after that.
Well, you got to think. I mean, they said that he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. Let's see. It's multiple weeks. So multiple is more than one. I mean, he got injured last week. There's this week. Next week is bye week. The week after that, they'll probably leave him out for the game on the Bills, but they'll probably bring him in next game if he's feeling healthy enough. Calf injury is kind of unique. Usually guys being out for long terms like that, you get them with knee injuries or something like that. But I wonder what he did to his calf.
All I'm being able to get on is he did it during practice. All I've been able to find is it happened at practice last Thursday.
Yeah. Well, they're saying he hopefully avoided a major injury with this. So, he decided to step off the field with a minor injury and get looked at before it turned into something big. I'd applaud him for that. I mean, that could be a career-ending thing for a rookie. How many rookies have we seen that get on the field on day one, get their butts whipped, and never bounce anything? So hopefully he can recover from it and get moving. I mean, when push comes to shove, as of tonight, I feel like we need those defensive linemen more than ever.
Yeah.
So, I did not feel like our defensive line did a very good job this evening. I felt like uh, Wilson had way more time to pass than he should have been allowed. Even when it came to blitzing. I mean, I felt like he was standing out there all day, just throwing the ball as far as he could. And the score kind of shows that. Defenses win games. I pray that it wasn't our first team defense out there by a shot.
Right.
So
And then you know what I also heard?
what's that?
That we are one of the only teams that have not played really any starters. All the other teams in the NFL has at least played their starters at least a game or two, or a first quarter or second quarter.
Like I said, man, I think we've got a surprise attack waiting for Josh Allen. Honestly, I think Gannon is just holding our players back. He knows what our guys can do. He knows how cohesive our first team is. And I think he sees great opportunity for us to come out of the woodwork and beat the under. Like I said, my biggest worry is our defense. In the past, our defense has been able to hold, it's been strong, one of the top defenses in the league. We've been able to come out and hold it. Even when Murray was out, we've been able to hold to, minimal points. But yeah, dude, I am super excited to see this Bills game. We got 2 weeks before it shows up, and it's going to be a crazy nail-biting 2 weeks for me because I've got to make a stinking pick on my two favorite teams. But yeah, I can't wait to see that game. You guarantee it, I'm going to be 2 inches away from that TV screen the entire game, just watching every single aspect of it. And for the most part, I'll probably be rooting for whoever's on. Because, it's my two favorite teams. What do you expect?
Right. There is a game going on currently right now.
Is there? Which game's still on?
Patriots versus the Commanders. Commanders home.
Oh, okay.
They are in the third quarter with roughly just started the third quarter with 14:56 left in the game, or in the third.
Nice.
And it's a low-scoring game.
Really?
As of right now, the Patriots got it 7-zip.
7-0 in the third quarter? Holy smokes. That's crazy. What else happened today? We got, obviously, our game, 12-38. Ouch. Thank God it's preseason. We'll get over that.
Friday.
Yeah.
There was a blowout on Friday.
Tight. Oh, was there?
Jaguars and Falcons. 31-0. Jaguars.
Holy moly, 31-0. What happened to the Falcons? I hope they were playing their third stringers the entire time against their first team, because that's crazy.
They didn't even get a field goal, nothing. No points across the board. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, or fourth quarter.
That's a shame for the Falcons. I noticed the Chiefs lost to the Bears, which is unusual, but not unheard of. 34-21 on Thursday, the day before Friday. Along with the Colts and the Bengals. Colts took the Bengals 14-27.
And then the Bears took out the Chiefs. 34-21.
34-21. Amazing.
And the Chiefs were home.
Yeah, that is unique. I mean, that's the thing about preseason. One of the big things about preseason is for everyone. It's preseason for the coaching. preseason for the officials, preseason for the players on the field, preseason for the managers. It's preseason for everybody. So, how many things come into an actual football team in a full blown football game? You've got good coaching, you've got good officiating, you've got good players, you've got good fans on through and through, home field advantage, this, that, and everything else. Preseason, you end up with a lot of anomalies because every single one of those aspects is in practice. None of them are necessarily trying to win. They are all trying to win the season ahead of them, not today's game. So when you think about preseason in general, you really got to break it down into, is it the play calling that's the problem? Is it the coaching that's the issue? Is it the players that are the problem? Is it the team the cohesiveness of the team that's the issue? Is it the officiating? The officials are in preseason mode too. They're still rookie officials that are trying to learn the game that have just shown up on the field. Yeah, I'm sure they've been officiating for a good long time, but this might be their first big NFL game, and they might be nervous too. When push comes to shove on preseason, you've got to take everything with a grain of salt across the board. Yes, you expect these guys that are getting paid millions of dollars to perform their best, but that doesn't always mean they're going to in preseason, because it's preseason. Regular season is what signs the paycheck, not preseason.
Right. So, who do you think they're going to end up tossing out? And who do you think staying?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I've seen a lot of good players and poor players on the Cardinals this year. When push comes to shove, boy, that is a tough call. I will tell you, I am excited to see the changes and to see our final team when it's done. That way, I can truly start to research each and every single player. What do you think?
Yeah, it's hard to judge, honestly, just because of how many good players we have. Before we got into today's game, I was all for getting rid of Ritter after last week's game.
Yeah.
I was all for it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, after seeing today,
Yeah,
he showed some more.
Yeah, last week's game was not very good. He
Today's
showed
game,
a lot more promise. So
yeah.
I noticed that. Yeah, after the half, and when I look at a quarterback, I look at more so. I look less at how he performs on the field and more so how he interacts with the players. If you look at Tom Brady, when everybody's in a huddle, everybody's looking at him. Everybody's listening to him. Everybody is, dedicated to what he is saying. And when he claps his hands, that huddle breaks and everybody goes. Today, Ritter was in that huddle. And I was watching him right at the beginning when he first got out on the field. Before he even clapped his hands, before he even finished talking, the guys were walking away from the huddle and getting back to the field. And that shows it shows a little bit of disrespect, but it shows that he was not in command of his team.
Right.
But towards the end of it, later in the game, after he had marched them down the field, he had led them to a potential success before he got his helmet knocked off and a concussion protocol, yada yada yada. Those guys, when you watch the footage from the huddles right before that happened, they were all tuned into him. Not to play on words with tune, but they were all watching. He was commanding that huddle by the end. He had grown in that one drive. He had grown exponentially from the guy that nobody really cared about or respected and was like, yeah, whatever, dude, let's go, to the guy who was, oh yeah, no, we're gonna listen to you. You're doing great. You've marched us down the field. You've changed. So I respect that a lot about him. I think Ritter, a lot like Skelton was in the past. I mean, he showed me the pretty much the exact same effort in the preseason games and even the regular season games.
Right.
But the ability of the quarterback to lead and command the team makes the team. You see it in Peyton Manning. You see it in Aaron Rodgers. You see it in Drew Brees. You've seen it in Joe Flacco. Just as far back as you can go, Kurt
Wilson.
Warner or, anybody. Well, not Russell Wilson, but but when push comes to shove, it's their ability to command the team, their ability to be a leader and to be a respected leader. And when they do that, the players are no longer playing for themselves. They're playing for the team as a whole. And that's what you need in the NFL.
Right. But no, I definitely say we keep Ritter for a little bit longer at least, see what he can really do for us during the actual season.
Right. I really think he would be an excellent candidate, to be a backup. I mean, yeah, through and through, I think he can do a very good job. He is young and he is impressionable and he is trainable. So I wholeheartedly, I personally think after what I saw tonight, and if that's my only basis of a comparison is tonight, I would keep him over Clayton too.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's also still in the process of getting to know our offense.
He is, absolutely. He's got nowhere to go from but up, really. How long has he been with the team, Kay?
Oh, not long at all. I think they traded for him during the off season, and he's literally only played 3 games with us.
Yeah.
It hasn't been very long at all. That's why I'm like, after today, okay, fine, I would give him a shot. But
yeah,
in my eyes, I would still keep Tune as QB2 in my eyes, considering his performance today.
Right now, considering previous year and his performance today, his knowledge of the team, I think he is a much better candidate for QB2. Yes, 100%. I agree with that. Like I said, when it comes to Ritter, if it was just down to today's game, I would pick Ritter, unknowing of past history, of past games, even the last 3 games. If you take Tune out of being in our ranks of last season, I do think Tune is doing a great job. I think he's doing what he can. He's obviously not a Tom Brady or a Drew Bledsoe. He is going to make mistakes here and there. But I do feel that Ritter is a more capable quarterback with a brighter future in front of him. And people may not understand or believe me or, whatever. But I think Ritter's future is going to be a bright one, hopefully with the Arizona.
Right. And not to get off the topic of the Cardinals, but I did hear a couple of rumors going around.
Oh yeah.
One, I don't know what team, but supposedly a team is in talks with Mr. Tom Brady about getting him back out there.
Yeah, so I read that whole thing also. I forget what news article it was, who came out with it, but that was 100% an opinion. But I did read the same article. Yeah, it was like the first article said, "Oh, well, we think that he might wear purple and be a Viking." And I think it when push came to shove, it's just because the Vikings get back. I do not see Tom Brady coming. He came back with Gronk and did his thing. He made all kinds of money. I don't think he can really do anything more. I don't think he'll pull a Favre and be a Viking and try to make a whole bunch of extra.
And it's funny you
Possible.
bring up Gronk, because my father-in-law said that he was watching the game, I believe, on the Patriots game a little bit, and he saw Gronk out there practicing with the Patriots.
Oh, really?
So I don't know how true that is, but yeah, no, he said he saw him out there on the field practicing.
With the Patriots, huh?
Yep.
Well, it's possible they were just out there to make waves. I mean, practicing with them and actually playing that with them is one, completely different. On the same note, J.J. Watt was seen at practice with the Houston Texans. Well, he started with the Texans, and it turned out that he was there only in the aspect of bringing his kids to see the training facility and to teach them a little bit more what he used to do in Texas. So you never know where the background is. Yes, you see Gronk and Brady on the field, and everybody gets and creams themselves and goes, "Oh, they're back! It's the dream team." Well, if you saw Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison Sr. on the field, anybody who watched them play together, you would do the exact same thing. There would be rumors flying all over this, but it's all rumor until it's true.
Right.
Speaking of Marvin Harrison, I mean, I can't wait to see that kid actually play.
Yeah, me too.
In a full-fledged game and to see what that guy can do. I'll tell you, I watched his father play with Peyton Manning over and over and over again. And I will tell you, when it comes to talent, there's very few people that can keep up with that type of caliber. If he's been raised to train the way that his father was raised and trained with the same discipline, he is going to be a force to be reckoned with. I'll tell you what, dude. I cannot wait to see that kid play.
The next Larry? You think he'll be the next Larry?
I don't think he'll be the next Larry Fitzgerald. I do think that he's going to be his own player. I seriously think that he's going to come into his own. I mean, a lot of people want the next Larry Fitzgerald, and it is quite possible that we might end up with somebody similar. But I think he's going to be the short pass king to start, at least. I think that he's, I mean, just from watching his dad play, he was the intermittent player. He was the go-to guy when the crap hit the fan and he had nobody else to dump it off to. Peyton Manning would connect to him every single time. He has glue for hands. He's a good guy. His dad is an excellent football player. Yeah, I can't wait. My brother-in-law played on the Colts during his reign, during Peyton Manning's reign, and yeah, I never met the guy and never got to meet Senior personally, but watching him on the field was just outstanding. So I can't wait to see his son pick up where his dad left off.
Right. So, T, have you had your W at all?
Well, speaking of Dubby, I have had my Dubby. Have you had your Dubby at all? Okay.
Unfortunately, I just had my last scoop of it. Probably next payday I'll try and get some more. I'm debating if I want to try for that mystery flavor one.
Okay, you're breaking up quite a bit, bud. Are you walking a little too far away from the Wi-Fi, buddy?
No, I haven't moved. I'm in the same spot when we started.
Well, now I can hear you.
Oh, all right.
So
but no, I unfortunately used the last little bit I had, and I'm thinking about on payday getting the mystery flavor one.
Oh, you're thinking about the mystery, huh? Well, I was thinking about getting the big energy tears tub. I'm not sure, but it looked tasty. I'm not 100% on it yet. I haven't quite figured it out, but I still got about, I don't know, quarter of a tub of the sour apple left over. So I'm gonna knock that out, and then I'm gonna jump into something new. So we'll see what happens, but I'll tell you, dude. I mean, when push comes to shove, W is the way to go. I absolutely 100% have really enjoyed the jitterless energy that W.
Yeah, same here.
It's a lot better than drinking a Monster or a Red Bull or any of that stuff.
Right, same here. And if you guys want to try any of these flavors we're talking about, or they've got a bunch of other flavors too, if you guys want to try any of that, make sure you on checkout, make sure you put in TK Talks. Get yourself 10% off.
Absolutely. TK Talks. And if you guys want to look down in our description for this afternoon's podcast, check it out. There will be a link in our description. There's also going to be a link in our description for our YouTube channel. And for those on YouTube, we'll have a link for our Spotify channel as well, so that you guys can listen.
Yep, absolutely.
And a big shout out, thank you to the fans. We wouldn't be anybody without you. I mean, it's not that we're anybody right now, but hey, you know what? Someday somebody will give a crap, and
well,
it'll be awesome. So
people definitely have, because
we're just happy to be here and be able to do what we're doing.
Yeah, people definitely have, because we're sitting at 36 subscribers on YouTube right now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, our YouTube channel, if those of you on Spotify haven't checked out our YouTube channel, we've been putting out YouTube shorts. We've got football shorts right now. We're going to have some gaming shorts coming up, as long as I get it out of the draft file, yeah, but we got a lot of stuff planned for this year.
Yeah,
there's a lot of big news coming in the gaming world. There's a lot of big news coming in the football world. I mean, football's just starting, so I can't wait to keep everybody updated and just be able to share our thoughts and our opinions with you. I mean, we're Americans. Freedom of speech is key. Being able to do that is a blessing.
Yeah. But no, there's a lot of gaming news coming out that I've been trying to get a hold of and stuff myself. But yeah, no, my final.
We can cover that in a gaming episode. So.
Yep. My final thoughts on our cards game today. It was better than last week. I'll give them that. It wasn't better as in the first week where we went against the Saints, but it was definitely better than last week.
I wholeheartedly agree. So it was nice to see Ritter step up to the plate finally and actually make his way down the field. It was nice to see Clayton Tune right out the gate. Try, work his way down the field. Unfortunately, he couldn't capitalize. Kind of a hiccup and could pose a problem in his career. Yeah, like I said earlier, I cannot wait to see our number one team on the field. See the starters all out there together, doing what they do best, kicking butt.
And then there was something I was going to say, but I forgot. So never mind.
That's all me. I apologize.
I remember it now. One thing I will actually say is there was way less penalties on the Cardinals side today. That made my day.
There was. Yes. When it came down to the discipline of the team, I felt like our team was more disciplined today than we have been.
Than last week.
All of preseason. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Because when we get 11 penalties in the first quarter last week.
Yeah, it's kind of a problem.
That's an issue.
Like I said, it's preseason for us, and it's preseason for the officials. So you never know who's going to be.
I watched a press conference of that from Gannon, and he was not happy with that performance at all.
Oh, I'm sure.
He flat out said,
to say to the players in the locker room for all that.
Yeah, no, he flat out said, we're going to make them work on that. And of course, the way how they performed today with less penalties, that tells me that's exactly what happened.
I wholeheartedly agree.
But
well, with that, do we have anything else, Kay?
Nope, I was just gonna ask you that same thing.
Sounds like we're winding down then. So thank you for everybody who's listening to us, everybody who pays attention to us on YouTube. I mean, heck, we might as well put up a Facebook page and everything else and have all of it here pretty soon. But yeah, if you guys on Spotify, check us out on YouTube. Throw us a subscribe. I mean, we need all the subscribers we can get. Otherwise, we can't do live streams. You know, we've got to download videos over there still. We're at 32. We've got to have 50 in order to get to that live stream. So you guys come out in force and give us a thumbs up. Give us a subscribe. It really will help us out in the future. It, at the very least, just helps spread our voice.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
We're getting close. And if you guys know somebody that would be interested in what we talk about, give them the link, share them, and tell them to look us up.
Exactly. Well, okay, I opened it up, so I'll let you tune it out. Why don't you go ahead and close us out?
All right. This is TK Talks, signing off.